Namaste everyone. How are you all? Hope everyone is fine. Well, students, what have we learnt in our previous class? Do you remember anything? If you remember, we had discussed on the topic personal hygiene, isn't it? And we also learned the ways to maintain personal hygiene. And I hope everyone you are maintaining your personal hygiene, because maintaining personal hygiene is very important, isn't it? We had discussed we need to brush, we need to bath, we need to trim our nails, we need to wear clean clothes, and we need to wash our hands before and after meal, and also after the use of toilets. And these days we are also using mask and sanitizer. We discussed on all those points in our previous class, right? Now, talking about today's class, we are going to discuss on a new topic, that is matter. It may be a new term for you, right? Well, no need to worry, I will explain what is matter. Now, we have seen many objects around us. If you see the objects around you also, you can see many objects there, right? Here also, around me, I have markers here, duster, and similarly, I can see many things around me also, and you can also. Well, the objects around us, they may be solid, they may be liquid, or they may be in gaseous form as well. Now, talking about matter, anything that occupies space and has weight is called matter. They need to occupy space also, and they must have weight also. Like, if I show this marker, it has also occupied some space of my hand, isn't it? And it also carries some weight. If we measure, it also has some weight. So, anything that occupies space and has weight and has mass is called matter. Okay? You can also see some of the things there. Maybe you have a glass on your table. That glass is also occupying some space. Maybe you have your notebook in front of you. It has also occupied some space, isn't it? And you are also sitting somewhere. You are also sitting somewhere else, either on the chair or on your bed. You are also occupying some of the space. So you are also matter, right? The bed of your room, it has also occupied some of the space of your room. So, everything that occupies space and has weight and has mass is called matter. Okay? Matter, it has three states. There are three states of matter. They are solid, liquid, and gas. Solid, liquid, and gas. Now, what is this? Is it a glass? Yes. Can I compress it? No, right? I cannot squeeze it. It has fixed shape and it has fixed volume also. Any objects that has fixed shape or volume are called solid. Any matters like solid, liquid, and gas, as I have already told, they are the states of matter, and anything that has definite shape and volume, that have fixed shape and volume, are called solid. Here, this glass, it is solid. Marker, solid. This spoon, solid, right? Because they have their fixed shape, they have their fixed volume. Alright, so they are solids. Solids, they are hard and rigid as well. They cannot be squeezed, they cannot be compressed. Alright. Then, talking about next state of matter, that is liquid. We drink water, right? It is the liquid form of matter. Liquid, it has definite volume, but it does not have definite shape. Like, for example, I have poured some amount of water in this glass. Here liquid, it has taken the form of this glass. Let us take for example this glass, it is the container, okay. Here liquid, it has taken the shape of this glass, but similarly we can also see some liquid over here, right, and it has also taken the shape of this vessel, alright. So, what we can say is liquid, they do not have definite shape. If we pour liquid in different containers, they take the shape of different containers, okay. So, they do not have definite shape, but they have definite volume. So, liquids are those states of matter that have definite volume, but not definite shape. Now, talking about the third state of matter, that is gas. The third state of matter, that is gas. Water gas, air, smoke, those all are gas, okay. And can you see air around you? We cannot see, but air has also occupied some space, so it is also matter. If there was no air, then we would not have been survived, isn't it? So, air is also matter, it occupies space, although we cannot see the air, but we can feel it. And air also, it does not have, it neither has definite shape, neither has definite volume, okay. Now, I have a balloon here, and if I fill this balloon with air, see, I have filled this balloon with some amount of air, right? But if I leave it, what happens? It comes to its original position, isn't it? So, air, it does not have, the gas, it doesn't have definite shape and definite volume. The matters that neither have definite shape nor have definite volume are called gas, okay. And in kitchen we use a cylinder, isn't it? Inside the cylinder what is filled? Even gas is filled there. So, the examples of airs include smoke and oxygen, carbon dioxide, everything, those are gaseous states of matter, alright. Now, similarly, we are moving to next thing. We have already discussed solid, liquid and gas. Now, let us go to floating and sinking objects. Floating and sinking objects. A glass half filled with water is here. Now, let me put a piece of paper here, okay. What happened? It is floating in the water, right? Why it is floating? It is floating in the water, that means it is at the top of the water only, it has not been down. Why is it floating then? Alright, the substance that have less weight than that of water, they float in water. But if I keep a coin, can you see this coin? If I put this coin inside the water, what happened? It is at the bottom of this glass, isn't it? At the bottom level of the water inside the glass. What happened? It has sink here. Yes. Why did it sink? Because the weight of this coin, the mass of this coin, it is heavier than that of water. Alright. So, what we can say is the substance that have less weight than that of water, they float in water, and the substance that have more weight than that of water, they sink in water. Alright. So, floating and sinking objects also we have discussed. and objects, the substance that have less weight than that of water, they float in water, whereas the substance that have more weight than that of water, those substances they sink in water. Now let me give you next example. What is this? Leaf, right? Let me keep it here. Okay, what happened? Leaf, did it go at the bottom of this glass or is it at the top only? We can see it is at the top of the glass. That means it is also floating object. Now let me put this. What is it? Key. Okay. Let me also keep it inside this glass. What did you say? It also went at the bottom of the glass. That means key also sinks in water. That is iron, coins, stones. These all are the things that sink in water. And in the floating objects, we can say dry wood, ice, leaves, paper. They all float in water. All right. Now, moving on to the next point, that is soluble and insoluble substance. Well, a glass half filled with water is here. Okay. Now, let me show you what is soluble and what is insoluble. Now, I have some amount of salt here in my hand and I am going to put it inside this water. Now, let me stir it. I am stirring it. Okay. What have I kept inside this water? I have kept some amount of salt inside this glass. Okay. And I am stirring it. Now, what can you see? Can you see any salt here? No, it has already dissolved. It has already dissolved in this water. That means the substance that easily dissolves in water are called soluble substance. The substance that easily gets dissolved in water, those are called soluble substance. Like I gave the example of salt here, right? In the similar way, you can also try by yourself. You can also put salt, alum and other dissolving materials inside the water, so that you can also check whether the substance get dissolved in water or not. Now, talking about insoluble substance. Soluble means that gets dissolved in water and insoluble means that do not get dissolved in water. What type of substance do not get dissolved in water then? Let me show you. Okay, I have some amount of sand here. Okay, I have brought some sand here and let me keep it inside this glass. Now, let me stir it like I did previously. I had also stirred salt previously, right? Now, let me also stir it. I have been stirring it, but still sand, it is still at the bottom of this glass. Can you see? So, what can we conclude from this activity is that sand it does not dissolve in water, but what we can conclude is sand it does not dissolve in water, but salt it dissolved in water, right? So, from this activity we can say that salt is soluble in water, whereas sand it is insoluble in water. In the similar way, the soluble substance includes salt, sugar, copper sulfate, alum, etc. Okay? And insoluble substance include stone. If we keep stone inside the water and stir it, does it get dissolved? No, it doesn't. In the similar way, iron, wood, dust particles, sand, they do not get dissolved in water. So, they are insoluble substance. All right. And also the next term is here, solute and solvent. What are solute and solvent then? Well, in first activity, what had I shown you? A salt, it got dissolved in water, right? There, in that activity, salt, it is the solute, and water, it is the solvent. Now, how can we define it? The solid substance that dissolved in water, is called solute. The solid substance that dissolved in water is called solute, and the liquid that dissolves solute is called solvent. The liquid that dissolves solute is called solvent. Let me repeat it again. Here, solute means the solid substance that dissolves in water, that gets dissolved in water, is called solute, and solvent means the liquid that dissolves solid, in itself, is called solvent. Okay, that means in our activity, if we dissolve salt and water, then salt is the solute and water is the solvent. In the similar way, if we dissolve sugar in water, then sugar, it is the solute, and water, it is the solvent. All right. Now, similarly, we do also have next, that is transparent and opaque objects. What are transparent and opaque objects? Okay, let me show this glass. All right. When I am carrying this glass also, I can see the part next to this part of the glass. I am showing my hand here and I can see it properly. Similarly, you are also able to see with the help of this glass the next side, isn't it? Also, I am wearing a glass here, right? I can easily see the objects in front of me. I can clearly see the objects that are in front of me. But if I block with my hand, then I cannot see anything. Why? Transparent objects means the objects through which light can easily pass through them are called transparent objects. All right. Glasses, the window panes of your house. You can see the next part from the window panes of your house, isn't it? Glasses, they are the examples of transparent objects. Clean water. Clean water is also the example of transparent object. Like here, I have kept some amount of clean water here, right? And with this clean water, through this clean water also, I can see my hand next to it. But instead of this clean water, if I had kept here colored water, then would I be able to see the next would I be able to see the next part that is in front of this glass? No, isn't it? So clean water, glasses, they are the examples of transparent objects. And what about opaque objects then? I have a book here. Now, are you able to see the part that is in front of this book? No, neither I have been able to see, neither I have been able to look at the part behind this. Why? Because through this book, the light cannot pass. Okay, so the books, papers, these all are included. These all are the examples of opaque objects. Wood and thick plastic. With the help of thin plastic, we can see the things that are next to it. But if we try to view the objects with thick paper, then they are invisible to us because light do not pass through them and we cannot see them. So let me tell you again, transparent objects means the objects through which light can easily pass through them are called transparent objects, and opaque objects means the objects through which light do not pass through them are called opaque objects. Now finally, let's move on to conductors and non-conductors. Conductors means the substance or the objects through which heat and electricity can easily pass are called conductors, and non-conductors means the objects or the substance through which electricity or heat cannot pass through them easily are called non-conductors. Like for example, let me give you example. While cooking food, a utensil will be kept under the heat of the gas, isn't it? And what happens? The heat of the gas gets passed to that utensil and the food gets cooked, and whenever we try to touch it also we feel hot. Why? Because those utensils, they are good conductors of heat and electricity. But if we take the example of paper, wood, what happens? If we keep them in, if we lighten the lighter in a paper, then what happens? Our hand, will it get hot? Before, what happens? The paper, it gets burnt and it gets converted into ash. Yes, but in the similar, but the utensil that we have kept while cooking food, it doesn't turn into ash, but instead it helps the food to get cooked because it can easily consume the heat of the gas, isn't it? So, the objects through which heat and electricity can easily pass through them are called conductors, and the objects through which heat and electricity do not pass through them are called non-conductors. Next example also, whenever we switch on the iron, then it gets heated, then we can iron, we can press our clothes easily, isn't it? Why is that? Because iron, metals, irons are also good conductors of heat and electricity. Well, now let us move on to short revision. At first we learnt about what is matter, anything that occupies space and has weight and has mass are called matters. Matter has three states. There are three states of matter. They are solid, liquid and gas. And then we talked about floating and sinking objects. The substance whose weight is less than that of water, those type of substance, they float in water, and the substance whose weight is more than that of water, they sink in water. Like I also gave you the example by keeping leaves, paper and coin, also key, right? In that experiment, paper and leaves, they are floating objects, they float in water, whereas key and coin, they sink in water, right? Because their weight is more than that of water. And then we talked about soluble and insoluble substance. The substance which gets dissolved in water are called soluble substance, and the substance that do not get dissolved in water are called insoluble substance. Then solute and solvent. In the substance that easily gets dissolved in water are called solute, and the substance and the liquid that dissolves solute is called solvent. And transparent and opaque. The substance through which light can easily pass through them are called transparent, and the substance through which light cannot pass through them are called opaque. And then conductors. The substance through which heat and electricity can easily pass through them are called conductors. Non-conductors means the substance that do not conduct heat and electricity are called non-conductors. So, well students, this brings us to the end of today's class. We will obviously meet in next class next day with new topic. Thank you for today.